The Boys. We didn't expect to start a video like that. Season 4 is premiered. We have 3 episodes currently streaming on Prime. Episodes 1, 2, and 3. Believe it or not. So, as a fan of the show, I've seen the first 3 seasons, love them. What do I think of season 4 so far? It's really good. It's very, very good. Now, this is a lot more of the same. You're not going to get anything like crazy, new, wild. If you came into this wanting something different from the show, you're just not going to get it. That's okay, because it's not exactly a formula that people are begging for change on. This isn't the Halo TV show. You know, people aren't absolutely desperately begging them for them to change things and alter things. You know, people like the show as it is, and it is continuing in that direction, which is fine. I will say, you know, it's a couple of the jokes didn't really land with me so far. It's not in a major way. Like in the first episode, there's 1 or 2 where it's like, all right, that's a little bit marvelly. But then again, Karl Urban was always sort of the arbiter of that style of humor. It's almost tongue-in-cheek that you're not exactly supposed to find him overly humorous. He's supposed to be a bit cliche and over the top. But that would be about it for criticism. This is one of those shows where it's difficult to criticize. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's the greatest show ever made, but it's tough to criticize a show like this because it's kind of just doing what you want it to do, and it's continuing to do that with season 4. The subject matter, however, is the big change that you get from season to season. We've dealt with, you know, the superheroes not treating their power with respect and sort of going nuts with it. We've dealt with the radicalization of people with far too much power. And now we're dealing with what would be a very extreme continuation of that, which is this show is very, very focused on incel and alt-right culture and conspiracy theorists and all of these lunatic losers who are like flat earthers and, you know, they're turning the frogs gay. I can't gammon nearly hard enough to do an Alex Jones impression that's authentic.
They turn the friggin' frogs gay!
And they do a very, very overt and brutal job of tearing into these people, and a very good job. I like how brutal it is and that they don't hold back. And it's not just purely one-sided. It definitely plays the sort of bordering on like centralist role where it's like, yeah, there's 2, you know, people who are on 2 sides of a fence and they're both being played at the same time in order for one person to experience as much power as he possibly can. Stuff that, you know, we have seen them sort of edging towards. We've seen them edging in this show, and it really like is beginning to build and build and build and culminate We're seeing a lot of this in this show, but it does not hold back. It really pokes fun at all of the like conspiracy theorists and kind of Facebook losers, basically, and I'm here for it. I think it's great, and I love the very brutal approach. Speaking of brutality, there is a lot of it here. Lots of blood and gore, plenty of action. You know, I need that after watching stuff like Acolyte, where it just almost refuses to give me the action that I want. It's good to see some like raw action here, and it's well done, as it always is. It's over the top and goofy, like it always is, and it's driven. I mean, like, they're always heading towards a goal, which is something that I really like about the show. We're also dealing with, minor spoiler, but we're dealing with the Butcher and his situation of longevity, if that's a not so spoilish way of putting it. And that really puts a ticker on the season, really puts like a constant timer on the season, which I think is good. It does kind of like make you feel as though, okay, so, you know, what ultimately is he risking? Like, I don't know, it kind of puts a final stamp on his character, and look, part of me hopes that they get away from it. Part of me hopes that they can find a cure for it, but I've heard that I think they're already doing 5 seasons of the show, so who knows. We have newcomers like Jeffrey D. Morgan. He does not show up very much at all in these first 3 episodes, though I get the feeling that he's going to show up more throughout the show, but he gives a great performance. It's kind of what you all expected him to. Not a huge Walking Dead fan, but he seems to really find a good place here. And I will say, if you are one of the types of people who this show is poking fun at, you may be disappointed that one of the characters is now bi. They never confirmed that this character was straight at any point, but I'm sure people are still going to have an issue with that. And this again is something that they don't really deal with much subtlety. They go all for it, makes out with another person of the same gender, and I don't know why that would have to be something that I have to mention, but in 2024 I guess it is. Overall, it's more of the boys. Another thing I didn't expect to say on this channel, it's more of the boys, and it's more raucous, crazy, lunatic, psycho shit fun, and it's very good, and I love the brutality of what it's trying to say politically. And I love that it doesn't hold back. So absolutely, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm looking very forward to the rest of season 4, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But I will leave. The plan is to do shorts for each episode, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so far it has my seal of approval, and I would recommend this show so far. So we'll come back at the end of the season for a full review.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.